Welcome to the Neverworld podcast, where together we explore the strange and unusual. Every journey starts with the first step into the unknown.
Hey folks, welcome to Neverworld Podcast. I'm Scott with my friend Dave, and we are here again to recap an episode of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch on history. Wow, this is episode 3 in a row that actually had me excited, especially with the reveal at the end, and I'm not even going to get there just yet because I'm still like, wow. Damn. This was a good one. We did, I don't know where to start, Dave.
Let's start at the beginning
with rockets,
with the two Chinook helicopters.
Yeah, that's right. The two Chinooks.
They don't come cheap. They don't run cheap. And why in the hell were they at Skinwalker Ranch in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just do a flyover. They flew over and they
did a loop.
Yeah. They were looking for something.
That's the impression that I got.
Or they were just trying to intimidate.
Yeah. Now, I've seen it online already. Others have suggested, well, it could have been the National Guard weekend. But as you just pointed out, flying over, sure. But the fact that they did, it was clear they were looking at something.
Yeah.
That was.
Now, here's what's funny with what you just said, National Guard weekend. If I were a chopper pilot, part of the crew, the guys in the chopper, and I'd been watching Skinwalker Ranch all this time, and I was allowed to basically fly wherever the fudge I wanted to fly.
That's where I'm going.
I'd be like, hey, let's fly over Skinwalker Ranch. Let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. Why
it's
not?
A possibility.
Now, that's a possibility. Another possibility is that it was staged. Now, who staged it, I don't know. Whether it was like one of those things that maybe Travis had something to do with or not, I don't know. He didn't seem too surprised that they were there. Although, although it was the whole act of everybody being surprised, but nobody seemed like, oh, what the fuck? I
don't think you can surprise these guys anymore with military flyovers.
Probably not.
They probably see it a lot, and what we see in the show is like one little brief thing.
And maybe that's what I'm picking up on, is that they were just like, again, kind of thing. But if it's not staged, and if it wasn't just somebody out for maneuvers joyriding with 30 other weekend warriors with them. And I use the term weekend warriors with actually respect, because I knew a bunch of guys that were in the reserve that all did time over in Afghanistan and Iraq. So I kick it around, but it's not an insult for me. Like I said, if I had the opportunity and I was in a helicopter with a bunch of my buddies from the military, I'd be like, let's go take a look, see what's over there. See if we can find anything on our helicopter, on our big military grade helicopter.
Yeah, it could be. So that's just it. There's a couple possibilities on that.
Yeah.
You have that we've just brought up. So, and that's good. There's speculation. Everything does always seem convenient, but they've had a chance to take hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage and edit it down into a way that we can stay entertained and keep watching. So
that makes a lot of sense.
That makes it seem staged sometimes, or like a setup. I get it, because my God, how much footage do you think that the editors and everybody have to sit through to figure out what they're going to put in there? It's like, my God.
And to make it entertaining and not give away any state secrets, Yeah.
The doctor is calling.
Yeah, I gotta turn that off. I've been texting my niece and showing her pictures of Luna. She's a big Harry Potter fan, so.
Oh, well, there you go. But yeah, that very well could have been a joyride, or it could have been an actual surveillance mission. They didn't have their transponders on, which I don't know if the military always does. So I don't know what the regulation is on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what the
Um,
regulation would be stateside.
yeah,
I'd have to
I don't
ask
know.
in the know.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and I have somebody I could ask in the know.
so
So
that bit of the show was interesting. I mean, it's kicked it off like that, and we've seen that in the past where they've obviously been surveilled. But then Travis gets to do, guess what? More rockets.
he
And
loves to shoot rockets, man.
you know what? I get it. Rockets are fun. And Travis makes me want to go build some model rockets. I really find it infectious. But his answer to everything is, let's shoot a rocket at it.
Shoot a rocket at it. Well, the funny thing is that, well, that's not funny, but the smart thing was that they got Brandon finally shows up in this episode, which I
Yes.
was like, finally, there's Brandon. I missed you. Multi-billionaire guy that wouldn't, pee on me if I was on fire, but thank you for being on the show. Uh, I don't know if he would or not. I don't know if he'd, grab a fire extinguisher or not. I hope he doesn't pee on me. Anyway, uh, when he finally showed up, I was actually excited. Like, finally, he's there. But he shows up. I guess him and his brother must have been on the way when the
Yeah.
Chinooks were up flying over. So after they left, Brandon and his brother show up within an hour. I think they said within about
Well,
45 minutes
yeah,
or an hour
it
after
got
they
a little
left.
confusing and that was
Yeah,
one of those weird edits. It's like, wait a minute, you guys
yeah,
were
it
just
wasn't.
out there waiting, and then it took hours, but you were already standing out there.
Yeah,
So it was one of those
well,
things.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing they flew in. They were already on their way
Oh
there
yeah.
when all this crap was happening. But when they land, they tell him what's going on. He goes to look at film footage. He wants to see what the hell's going on. The first guy he calls is the state attorney general, and
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but
Reyes.
he gets his
I
ass
think the
on the
last name is
phone.
Reyes. Yeah.
Like, hey, guess what, buddy? They flew over again, and I think, did they share
They
the
showed him the
video with
footage.
Reyes? I
Yes.
think they did, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
they did.
And
They shared that. So
he doesn't seem too happy. He doesn't seem too
no.
happy that nobody's telling him what the hell's going on in his own state. And rightfully so. States are autonomous governments. We do not kowtow to federal authority when it comes to a centralized government. That we are a republic, folks, a republic. Um, so when somebody does something like that in your state, you better
Yeah.
pitch a
It's
fit,
an overreach. Yep.
and you better pitch a really big fit. So
Hmm.
hopefully Reyes is doing that. Just
He seems
nobody
like the
needs
kind
to
of
have
guy that
helicopters.
would. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That.
think he is.
Yeah. It's
Go ahead.
no. I don't even know what to say about that. I just find it, you know, not surprising. Not surprising. And
Right.
I want to float something out. I realize there's a lot going on right now with in Congress and senators trying to get bills through and
Mhm.
with UAPs and UFO stuff. And it just the timing of next episode, I think, comes right before some congressional hearings.
Right.
So I find that very interesting that this everything is stacking up right now.
And
And
they seem to pass up we had two times that it didn't show when it was supposed to. So that's
yeah,
kind of stacking up. That made it
I
fall right in the
wonder.
right place.
Yeah,
Gee,
I wonder
didn't
because
think
there's a lot of rumors about how crazy the finale is going to be.
right.
So
Oh, nice.
I-
See,
I'm anxious to see that.
I purposely don't read stuff about the show,
Mhm.
because I want to be surprised. I don't want to have a clue as to what's going to hit next. And I have my own opinions of everybody on that show, and there's too much hate out there. I know it
Of
seems
course,
like
there
I come
is.
across as hateful towards Travis, but I am
Oh no,
not.
not at all.
I love this guy. I'm telling you, if I was putting something together scientifically, he'd be there.
Like a rocket.
Michikaku would be there. Travis Taylor would be there, and I'd probably get Thomas because he's got a lot of common sense. And why not get Dragon because he might shoot something
You
for me?
just hire the crew.
You just fire these guys. But Michikaku, still say they should get him out there.
Absolutely.
I don't understand why they haven't got him there. Maybe he's off screen. I don't know. But I purposely don't. I try to avoid that because when the brother and Brandon got there, they put equipment on their helicopter and sent them up at night when they
Hmm.
started launching the rockets, straight
Yeah.
up and then across, like through where the anomaly should be.
Hmm.
And at first, it wasn't very interesting. Nothing was really going on. They didn't see anything, and then they went up. And what do you think happened, buddy?
Well, that was interesting. As they climbed up and got over a certain area, all of them started to feel really bad, like a
Mhm.
weight on their chest. And they did not, they were spooked. They were spooked. It was
Yeah, they were getting really
something,
scared and nervous.
yeah. And if you've ever had that feeling where you're somewhere and like when you feel like you're being watched, or you just an
Right.
impending doom and darkness out of nowhere that you can't place, that's kind of scary. And they did the right thing by coming back down, because
Oh, yeah.
who knows what, because certain sound frequencies can manipulate your body physically, and cause those type of feelings or anxieties or
Right, right.
things. So it maybe it was a defense of something to say, hey, back away. I don't know, man.
You again, I'm gonna mention, a show that I really like on British television. It's Red Dwarf. I've mentioned them
Hmm.
before on here. There's an episode where they have something called the despair squid, and it's a silly episode. It's just not to get too involved. Basically, what this creature did is it developed an ink that when it gets on you or you get it anywhere near you, you inhale like the steam of it or whatever. It puts you in a state of despair. It just makes you depressed, and
Man.
so the squid doesn't have to hurt you physically.
Hmm.
Its ink has done its job, and you basically leave. And there was another squid that did the same thing, only it made you happy. So there's
Oh,
two different squids at
I
two
want a
different,
happy squid.
completely different time periods. But anyway, it just reminded me whenever they were talking about going up, and all of a sudden they were getting depressed and like
Hmm.
scared and all this. I was like, oh my god, that's like the despair squid. It's like there's
Yeah.
something there in the air that's affecting them. And I know that's again my roundabout way of coming to a conclusion, but I just thought that was very, very interesting that something was there and was affecting them. A frequency, radioactivity, um, I don't know, radio wave, who knows? But
Yeah.
what I liked is the brother had the night vision goggles on. He was flying
Yeah. That was
everything,
pretty wild.
and he was talking about the
He was
UAP
seeing
that was
he was
flying,
seeing a lot of orbs that were,
yeah,
he
flying
said they
right
were,
towards the helicopter.
yeah,
And then at the last second, like diving down and going
like
underneath
they
it.
were
It's
coming
like,
around it. Yeah.
yeah, and he's telling these guys, "Do you see this?" And they're like, "We don't see anything." He's like, "Oh," he almost was like, "Crap, really? Like
Hmm.
you guys don't see these?"
Yeah. And I
'Cause
he
he just
he sounded
assumed,
like he saw it, and
yeah.
I know he did. I mean, there.
Well, didn't they show some, pictures of that? I know they had pictures from underneath the helicopter, the
I
camera that
might
was
have
mounted
missed
on
that.
the helicopter, but I thought they showed some stuff from his headpiece flying by. Maybe
Maybe they
not.
did.
Maybe I
I
was
might have
getting
missed it.
mixed up. But that was very interesting also, was
Hmm.
a couple of weeks ago, they showed with the high intensity light, the UAPs going into the mesa. On
Hmm.
this one, they had the helicopter camera.
Yeah.
Take it away, brother.
This was my jaw was on the floor.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah.
let's back up all the way to season one. You get all the tales of the lore from the Uinta tribes in that
Right.
whole Uinta basin, and they talk about seeing craft or orbs of light coming
Mhm.
in and out of the mesa, like traveling in and out. We've heard
Right.
this folk tale and this lore for 4 seasons now. And while they were going through all their video footage of everything, they actually captured the orbs going into the mesa and coming out of the mesa. And I don't know what else to say. It's like, wow. And there's still a finale, dude.
Yeah, they were going into the top, coming out. They came out of
Out
the
the
top
side.
too, right? And then they came out of the side.
Yeah, I remember seeing
A
them come out of the side.
about where I think they said it was about where the petroglyph was at.
Hmm.
Where that petroglyph is at, just a little to the left, if I'm not mistaken. If I've got my bearings straight by how they move around, is where that cave was blown up.
Hmm.
So if that orb is physically coming out of the mesa, it's hyperdimensional. It's not physically here, but it's not physically here.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
It goes right back to the wormhole.
yeah, it's going in between. It's on a different vibration or something. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very Star Trekky. Let me put it
Yeah.
that way. Star Trek gobbledygook technobabble. I'm gonna
Yeah.
insert here.
Interdimensional beings. That makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
for a lot. It explains a lot of things. So we go with it for now until proven otherwise. That's what I believe is what we're dealing with.
And if they're being scared on the helicopter and getting all that weird feeling, that may just be, and I want to try to word this the right way. Back to the despair squid that I mentioned earlier, it's a defense mechanism. It may be that dimensional being when they talk about skinwalkers. Everybody's always scared of skinwalkers. Oh my God, they're terrifying. That may just be a self-defense mechanism that it doesn't even mean to give off.
But it's
So
making
when you're
everybody fearful.
terrified of this thing, it's hoping that you will run away. And
That's a
like I said,
great
I've yet to find anything.
idea.
Yeah, I've yet to find anybody say that one of these things has killed a human being. I can't
They haven't
find. I mean,
come. Yeah.
I just haven't seen anything yet. So if anybody's out there that knows of a story, again, please just link it. I'd like to read it. I'd like to see what's going on, but
Yeah.
I haven't been able to find anything. Um, I actually stopped looking last week because I was like, all the things that I could come up with. I've heard stories that are unsubstantiated, i.e., a friend of a friend of a friend heard a story once by a cousin of an uncle of that kind of thing, and I'm like, well,
And
that's BS. Unless it's a tribal story that says Chief, Running Bear was attacked by one of these things and they got into a fight.
yeah.
I'm not going to believe it. I there's just too much
No,
other
I
stuff out
I
there. But
I get that. And what
it could
we
be a
deal with,
self-defense.
yeah, well, and what you deal with something like the lore of the Skinwalker is
Yeah.
every lore, every mythos, every country, every tribe
Mhm.
has a story of the Skinwalkers, and what they call them may
Yeah.
be something different. They may act completely different. So
Yeah.
yeah, so right
Werewolf.
in yeah. Yeah, you have the werewolf. You have in Louisiana the Rougarou, which is
Yeah.
a swamp werewolf, basically.
Rougarou.
Yeah, from Scooby Doo. Yeah,
Right.
but wow. Anyway, so that was really cool. That was really
Yeah.
cool to see the UAPs going into the mesa
That was
and not an
crazy.
infrared shot. This was a full color
Yeah.
picture, and it's like I don't know what to say. It's
And it wasn't the high-speed film.
no,
These things were just coming in and going out. And that's what Thomas said. He's like, okay, we're not watching these things. He goes, we can't possibly be watching 24/7. He goes, and we're watching within a matter of minutes these things going into the mesa and coming out.
yeah,
He goes, how many of these things have we not seen?
a lot, a
How many of
lot.
these things have we missed?
So how many? What
And how
here comes
long?
my yeah, and what are they doing, and what kind of missions are they doing
Mhm.
here? What is going on? So
Do they even know we're here? That's my big question.
hmm,
Do they even realize this planet with in this dimension exists, or is this wormhole on a like a subatomic area where they're flying looks completely different?
I
And
don't
whenever
know.
they shoot up a rocket, they're getting a UAP in their dimension, and there's a scientist on the other side of that thing going, "What the hell's that? Did you guys just see that? What the hell's that?" There it is again. When we send one of our ships through, we get a rocket.
um,
I mean, it could be the sound of one hand clapping.
wonderful,
You
wonderful.
don't know. There's
You
another
just,
Travis Taylor on the other side of that universe going,
but he has a goatee.
yeah, but he's gonna go gee.
It's the mirror universe, Travis, and everybody has goatees. And they're anyway. It's
uh,
yes. Anyway, no that. Thank you for melting my brain with that kind of conversation that I would
This
have
is
on
the
the
kind
car
of
hood
shit I
staring at
come
the
up
sky.
with. This is why I'm a conspiracy guy. Like,
Oh my
too
God.
many of my conspiracies have been proven true just by common sense. And now I'm thinking about this, like, holy crap, that they might not even realize that they're scaring the shit out of everybody when they're walking around. That one guy said last season or 2 seasons ago that the Skinwalker came down the side of the hill, the dog freaked out and went after it, and it was just running.
Yeah.
He didn't say the thing turned around and even noticed him. Didn't
Right.
look at the dog barking, it was just running. Maybe that freaking thing was just going out for a jog.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds silly, and I realize how crazy some of this sounds, but humans might not be the only ones that go out running and exercising for crying out
No,
loud.
no.
There may
And
be an entire planet of werewolves that just go for jogs.
there's a lot of theories and different discussions about interdimensional, and especially when it comes to paranormal activity.
Right,
Like we could put UAPs in there and aliens, and ghost. Some people may speculate that is it just where that dimension is starting to push through, and we're
right.
seeing something there. Is that why we're getting these manifestations or dimensional tears or something?
Right,
There's a lot of things it could be. So aliens flying around, yeah, that makes perfectly good sense to me, to be in another dimension. That, hey, that's what they have there. But yeah,
right. I
out for a
mean,
jog, and it's like, what's this dog creature that keeps chasing me every time? So they probably have
what
lore
the
about
hell's
this
that thing?
dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a human walker over there. I don't know
Yeah.
what that is. Like, what
A
what do
naked
they
ape.
call us? A skin. No, the hairless apes are over there. They're weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty much the hairless apes. So yeah, and I'm sure there may be a dimension of apes. I don't know.
I want
So
to, damn dirty apes. I want to look up and see, and I should have did this already. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me. I want to look up and find, if I can, if Edgar Case, the sleeping prophet,
mhm.
ever wrote about flying saucers and UAPs. I know he's talked about some not quite end days stuff, but he has come up with some stuff that looks like it's coming true right now. I'm not. I sent you a link one time. I'm not going to get political here, but it was just interesting. It was just one of those weird things that
Cool.
I read, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And I thought, "That's BS." And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh no, he really
No, I'm
that's a real
I'm a
problem."
fan of Edgar Casey, and I meant to throw this out earlier, and I'm going to
Yeah.
just go
Okay.
ahead and put this on it. I was watching some documentary or some show or something, but they were
Uh-huh.
talking about Edgar Casey, and the story about him. He was in New York, I believe, and he was
Uh-huh.
in a hotel, and he went to the elevator, and there were four people on the elevator that had a black aura around them.
Oh
And he's like,
shit.
nope, not getting on the elevator. He turned around, the elevator doors closed, and the cable snapped, and the people fell to their death. That's that. I just thought that was a wild story. And how many of y'all out there have stories
Nice.
like that? It was like one split second could have changed your whole life on
How
one
many
simple little
times
decision.
How many times have you or anybody out there listening done something similar to that? Taken a
Yeah.
right instead of a left, gone straight instead of taking the
Because you
turn that
felt
you usually
something
take
or you
because you
backed
thought,
away from somebody. Yeah.
yeah, I just don't feel like I should do that today. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you find out, let's just say the traffic light's out, or just say there's a fender bender down the road, or worse, something, a meteor hit, God
Yeah.
forbid. But something happened. Then you're like, oh wow, if I would have been there, that could have been me. I know that's happened to
Yeah.
me. Edgar
It's,
Cayce
yeah.
could just pick up on that. But I'd
Yeah.
like to read. I want to see if he's come up with
I'm
anything
curious.
that falls into the Skinwalker Ranch, because he'll name places. He
Hmm.
literally names places in his prophecies, and he's been more right than wrong. I know people sit there and try to nitpick and split hairs, but it's like, you know what? When I read it, that's what I'm reading. I'm
His
reading that
his
he
work is
found out
amazing.
where the Bimini Road was, and he said, "You follow that road, you're going to find Atlantis." They followed
Yeah.
that road, they found freaking shit that shouldn't be there, and then they all make
Yeah.
up reasons why it's there.
Yeah.
That's not really a road. No, that's a freaking road, man.
It's a road. There's no,
A
that's a
freaking
whole nother
road.
show. But yes,
Yeah. But what
look
I'm
it up,
saying,
folks. The
just
Bimini
Edgar
Road.
Casey,
It's wild.
sleeping
Profit.
prophet. Look him up. Let's see if anybody finds anything. Let me know too. I'm gonna
Yeah,
look it up
yeah.
this week,
Edgar
probably see if I
Casey
can find it.
was was definitely something else. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, I'm curious, and that I something I came across the other day was a illustration from the 1500s in Germany of an event where basically it was spaceships
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
big mothership and a big war going on. And it wasn't just there in
Over.
Berlin, it was other towns around the same time had reported the same thing.
Yep.
I just find that amazing and how quick we are to just ignore all of that and accept, oh, it's all fake.
Well, it was in their newspapers. It was
Yes.
in several different newspapers around
Yes.
Germany and Austria, I think.
Hmm.
There's like 4 or 5 major cities that people looked up and seen it. They're like,
And it
they
was like a
thought it was
battle.
gods, demons, and angels. They
Yeah.
showed you. They're like, they look like big ships. They look like things flying in the air. But they just assumed that it was a demon or an angel, if I remember correctly. But
Yeah.
I can't read German, so I read the translation. I've read
Right.
the translation, and it reads, it's the freaking space battle. It's
Hmm.
something came into their world in that area, and we're having a fight.
Yep.
It's amazing. India is a prime example
Oh
of
man, when you look at their ancient text, holy crap.
Praveen Muhammad. I may have the last name wrong. I'm sorry if I do. But Praveen has a show on YouTube. He does a lot of stuff about India and the temples and the history, the ancient history, and the alien history. And a lot of
Oh
the stuff that
wow.
he talks about, there's correlations to Skinwalker Ranch, which I just find astounding because, like you said, the Skinwalkers there. You have Skinwalkers here. You have dimensional portals there. You have dimensional portals here. It's amazing, folks, how so much of the history of the world and other parts of the planet are all connected to each other.
All
We're not as
connected.
big as we think we are. We're a big planet. You can get lost here. You can disappear even today in technology and all that. You can still, if you really want to just disappear,
You could do it.
boom, you could do it, no problem. It's big enough to do that. But there's a lot of weird stuff out there, and it's all connected. And I'm not far enough away to be able to see the puzzle pieces all fitting together.
I don't think we ever
It's
will
amazing.
until we cross the veil there,
Yeah, as soon
it's
as you cross the vet, but I want to know now.
dude, I do too. I do too. I don't like
so,
just being handed bits and pieces, I want to see it
so
all.
where did they go after they saw the ships coming out of the mesa?
Well, they came out
Yeah,
and it looked to me like they went in the ground.
yeah. Yeah, they had the one that they were watching at night. It was
Yeah.
the orange light that was just.
Yeah, I forgot about
They
that
at
one that
first
was
they're
just
like, "What is it? What is it?" And it's like flying, 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 and then it did like a loop. It came back around,
the proper
and
terminology
then it sped up.
from Dr. Travis Taylor is it did a dog leg.
Dog's like, yeah, 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 dog leg. Look like their dog leg. Then it sped up. Shoot a rocket at
God bless you, Travis.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I had to have the guy on any team I was on. But I just this episode, it took them a while to get here, folks. But my gosh,
I'm blown away. Has
I
three
told you I'm
episodes.
here until the very end, no matter what. They can start
Yeah.
having boring episodes. I'm there because whenever I was about ready to just go, okay, I don't even know I want to watch the next episode. The next episode, you had a little tinge at the very end. I'm like, okay, what's that? But so far, they've only mentioned that balloon stuff one
We
time,
still have not
about
seen
2
the
seconds.
LiDAR below.
So I think you're right, unless they're saving that. Unless they're saving that.
Yeah,
But
and
I have a
here's
feeling you might be right that they're just not going to talk about it again.
they may not. They may not. And part of me though, I've got this weird feeling that we are very close. I mean, the government's already come out and disclosed enough to make everybody should understand they are out there. They have been here.
Right.
It's confirmed, but I have a feeling we're going to get even more info within a short period of time in the future here. Of I think Dr. Stephen Greer might be right about the setup of
He's
a new
absolutely right.
boogeyman.
He's
We're going to
absolutely
find
right.
out
You
there's
can see it
aliens,
happen.
and we're going to find out they're evil and they're coming to get us, and we have
Yeah.
to fight. And the defense contractors will make more money.
And not only do we have to fight, but we got to have all your money in our banks and know exactly where you're spending your money. It's all connected. I know. I sound like a crazy man. That's because I
Always
know what I
follow the
sound
money.
like. But
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
right.
Just always
That's
follow
the
the money.
problem. I'm always freaking right.
So I think this is all part of it. This is a way for
The
the
setup.
government to get this out in a way that you and I are sitting here spreading it. We're involuntarily. We're not helping. We're part of the information dissemination here. So it's.
But that's why we always point to Stephen Greer. Watch his specials. Watch Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Watch all his other stuff, because
It's pretty wild.
the guy is telling you what's going to happen, and
it's happening.
This Skinwalker Ranch series is part of what he said was going to happen. The government coming out and talking about UFOs is part of what he said was going to happen. The other stuff that happened a few years ago is all part of what he said was going to happen. And almost to the freaking day. I mean,
I know, right?
I'm watching this guy and I'm following what he's saying. I'm like, okay, right about now, this should be happening. Oh, look, within a week or two. Yeah. Okay, what's next? Okay, this other thing he said is going to happen. Oh, look there. Yeah. Oh, we really do have bases on Mars already. Oh, okay. Yeah, he said that was going to happen too. I mean, I'm just waiting for them to just come out and go, oh, just watch Stephen Greer. That's what's happening.
Yeah. He's been trying to tell people forever.
Spaceship thing, but we decided not to. Too much money.
Yeah. Crazy. So who knows? I just ask everybody to be vigilant and just always be skeptical on everything.
Skepticism will save you a lot.
Question everything.
No,
and trust no one.
You can be like me, and I believe like Scott. I won't speak for you, but I will speak for me. I love this show. I will delve into it.
Absolutely.
Watch it, but I also look at it and go, what are they hiding? What aren't they saying? What aren't they showing? And then I want to sit there and go, why aren't they? There's a couple of reasons. And I always go to Occam's razor. The simplest answer is always right.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. So there we go. So, folks, definitely check out this episode, and we will be back next week to definitely talk about this finale, which since these past three have just been getting bigger and bigger, what have they got in store for this?
Want to see what they're going to do next.
Yeah. They did not show a preview, which tells me it's going to be pretty big. They don't want anybody talking. So,
good. Yeah. All right. That makes sense. Yeah. They didn't.
So anyway.
Yeah, they didn't.
No, I was mad. I want to see.
Yes, I do highly recommend this show. I really do.
Absolutely.
Go back.
It's a lot of fun.
Start at the beginning, work your way up. It's great.
It's a lot of fun. They employ a lot of really interesting experiments, and I enjoy it because I feel like they're actually attempting to answer things. So, and it's cool.
Right
it's
or
fun.
Wrong,
and
good or bad.
Absolutely. All right. So, folks, tune in next week when we wrap up our behind the scenes or not behind the scenes, but our recaps of Skinwalker Ranch. No behind the scenes. I've never been to Utah. So, folks, catch you later.
One day. Cheers.